Here's a little more context from our own Rob Demovsky finishing the beat writer session with Brian Gutekunst. He said among the highlights, he and Rodgers agreed last summer to sit down and work it out one way or another this offseason. Never promised a trade, though. The franchise tag is a last resort for Davante Adams. No long-term concern about David Bakhtiari's knee. That's important. Zadarius Smith's cap number will have to be fixed if he's to stay with the team. And Mason Crosby might be safe because with a contending team, having a championship kicker is important. We know how important those kickers are. The Packers currently one of 3 teams projected to be a 20-plus million over the cap team, according to roster management systems. Addressing Rodgers' contract will certainly help that figure, but additional moves may still be necessary despite the one they did today. Green Bay has several key free agents this offseason, of course, headlined by Davante Adams and Devondre Campbell. So let's go to our resident GM here. We got Riddick on the show. Lou, what would you prioritize right now for this team? Because there's a lot going on they got to figure out.
Yeah, Laura, I think simultaneously they're trying to get cap compliant right now, which means, the kind of things that you see them doing with Kenny Clark as far as helping them free up cap space are the kind of things that are ongoing continuously now until March 18th. And I think also, obviously, it clears up a lot of things for them in terms of where they need to go, how much cap space they actually need to clear, and how things look for everyone else once Aaron decides exactly what he wants to do and what you decide as a team, what you're willing to do in terms of signing him to a long-term extension, which will give you some cap relief and or trading him. Because then also at the same time, so you got like 1A, 1B, 1C happens to be, Davante Adams. How do you get him signed to a long-term contract? Because if you don't, then that franchise tag number becomes very prohibitive as well as far as doing all the other things that you need to do as far as getting cap compliant and making sure your roster is set. That number sits at right around $20 million, and who knows whether or not they will go ahead and put the exclusive franchise tag on him, which carries an even higher cap number, right around $23 million, so no one can even talk to him. Because if, as Brian Gutekunst said, you will do whatever it takes to make sure that he is signed to a long-term deal and on your roster. Well, the only way you can do that is to make sure that no one else can ever talk to him, and that means the exclusive franchise tag. So that's just 1A, 1B, and 1C. We haven't even gotten into the rest of the things that they have to get done.
Yeah, and Lewis, I think all the points that Lewis just made are spot on. He always does a great job. But I believe that Aaron Rodgers is still priority number 1, and everybody else falls in behind. And we know he's not taking many number 2s right now after that 12-day cleanse that he went on.
Whoa!
So for me, the Packers can do a lot of different things in the process while they're waiting for Rodgers to make his decision. They can restructure some of these contracts, get some cap space, but I don't think they're going to make any moves that they wouldn't have already made if Aaron Rodgers was coming back or if he was going. I think they might know a little bit more than we do right now about what his decision is, because for me, he's in zero dark flirty mode right now. He's flirting with going, he's flirting with staying, he's flirting with the fans all over the place. I wouldn't be shocked if he posted a picture on IG of him riding a horse down the streets of Denver just to get the fans really in a frenzy. But this is exactly where Aaron Rodgers wants to be, the center of attention. And look, he's earned it. He's a 2-time back-to-back MVP winner, and he's done it for a really long time. He wanted to be a player GM, and he's in the driver's seat.
You know what I found really interesting about that presser? Just looking at Brian Gutekunst, just his posture and how he was talking. It was very measured, very calm, collar open, kind of like Lou Riddick. He had the Lou Riddick vibe, like hair slicked back, like everything like he's in control. But here's the thing, he's not. Until Aaron Rodgers says, I'm coming back, this franchise doesn't know the direction that it's going in. Now, they may know more that they're not letting out, but around the league, people aren't sure whether Aaron is going to come back or if he would go to Denver. And I think until he makes that decision, the franchise is sort of stuck. So Gutekunst can act like he has plans and contingencies, but here's the reality. They are a much different team with Aaron Rodgers. They're a championship caliber team with Aaron Rodgers, and without him, they are not that, despite what the GM says.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons, Kim, why the Packers said, we're willing to go all in. We're going to do everything we can to try and keep Aaron Rodgers. That's what you should do when you have a quarterback like that. By the way, quickly, Robert, that cleanse, it's a no for me. Absolutely not. The cleanse would never happen for me. Anybody else?
No,
Lou, no?
Don't sign me up for that one.
No, absolutely not.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.